Welcome back. I'm Bob Kirkpatrick with today's local sports. Well, the same mistakes Quincy made in a 28-12 loss to Ephrata last week came back to haunt the Jacks Friday in a close 17-13 defeat at the hands of the Royal City Knights. Quincy had trouble adjusting to the team's new hurry-up spread offense, failed to capitalize on scoring opportunities in the red zone, and committed costly penalties that stalled drives or extended them for Royal. The Jacks went up top 7-0 midway through the first quarter, but it was the only lead of the game for Quincy. The score was knotted up 7-7 at intermission. Two second-half scores by the Knights pushed the Royal lead to 17-7. Quincy made things interesting with the late fourth quarter touchdown, but missed the extra point to bring the score to 17-13 with less than a minute to play. The Jacks attempted an onside kick, but it was recovered by the Knights to preserve the win. Quincy is back in action Friday night when the Jacks head to Cascade High School in Leavenworth for their Caribou Trail League opener with the Kodiaks. There was little for the Ephrata faithful to cheer about Friday night at Kiwanis Field as the visiting Ellensburg Bulldogs took the roar out of the Tigers 37-7. Quarterback Garrett Hull was on fire for Ellensburg as he torched Ephrata's defense for 311 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the lopsided CWAC league opener for both teams. Ben Lee and Brayton Leach cracked the century mark with 112 and 109 receiving yards respectively. The Tigers only managed 52 yards passing but gained 150 on the ground on 35 carries. The loss to the Bulldogs evened Ephrata's overall record at 1-1. The Tigers are 0-1 in the league standings. Ephrata gets a chance to get back in the win column Friday when the team travels to East Valley for a game against the Red Devils. David Ordachuk rushed for 133 yards on 6 carries, and Joe Cutstall threw for 147 yards and 3 TDs to lead the Soap Lake Eagles to a convincing 48-14 home win over La Crosse Washtenaw Friday. The non-league victory improved Soap Lake to 2-0 in the 1B Northeast standings. The Tiger Cats jumped out to an 8-0 lead, but it was all Eagles after that as Soap Lake reeled off 28 unanswered points to go up 28-8 at the half. Wide receiver Nick Capallo, who finished with 5 catches for 102 yards and 3 scores, returned the second half kick 90 yards to push the Soap Lake lead to 34-8. Soap Lake hits the road Friday to match up with Columbia Inchulum for its 3rd non-league game of the season. The Eagles kick off league play September 27 in Coulee City with a game against Elmira Coulee Heartline Warriors, who lost their season opener to the Hornets 36-32. Ball control was the name of the game for the Moses Lake Chiefs as they rolled up 228 yards on the ground in a 31-14 win over the Eisenhower Cadets at Lions Field Friday night. Moses Lake ran off 14 plays on a 6-minute time-consuming drive on the Chiefs' first possession of the game, but wasn't able to put points on the board. The first quarter of action ended in a 0-0 tie. Moses Lake went up 10-0 in the second quarter and led 24-0 in the third. 2 long pass plays resulted in a couple of touchdowns for the Cadets to make the game interesting, but a fourth quarter score by the Chiefs sealed the win 31-14. The win over Eisenhower puts Moses Lake at 1-0 in the Big 9 Conference and at the top of the league standings. The Chiefs are 2-0 overall. Moses Lake is back on the gridiron Friday when the team travels to Wenatchee to face the Panthers, who ran roughshod over the Davis Pirates 53-13. The Warden Cougars found the going rough on the road Friday night as they dropped the non-league football game to defending 1B state champion Lynn Ritzville Sprague 40-21. The loss puts Warden at 0-2 to start the 2013 season. The Cougars don't get much time to lick their wounds as they travel to Royal City to face the 1A state runner-up Knights, who picked up a 17-13 road win over the Quincy Jacks Friday. The volleyball match between long-standing rivals Ephrata and Quincy was all it was cracked up to be as the Tigers pulled out a thrilling 3-2 win over the visiting Jacks Thursday night. Quincy looked as though it was going to run away with the match as the Jacks took the first 2 sets, but Ephrata came storming back to take the next 2 to tie things up 2-2. The fifth set of the match came down to the wire, but the Tigers were able to pull it out 16-14 to chalk up a W in the win column. Ephrata is back on the court tomorrow night when the team hosts Sela at 7 p.m. You can watch the live action on our television broadcast. Big Bend Volleyball pulled out a 4-set road win over the Treasure Valley Community College Chuckers Friday, but the Lady Vikings dropped their match to Blue Mountain Community College in 3 sets on Saturday. The split puts BBCC at 1-1 in the NWAC East Region standings and 3-8 overall. Big Bend is back in action Friday for a 2-day crossover tournament in Everett. Well, that's it for sports. We'll be right back after this.